let us talk about an interesting topic. Not actually a very popular topic, but one that's been around since basically the very beginning of time. Having multiple characters on your account. So this was something that we talked about last stream, or Monday? Yeah, Monday, a little bit, because it just came up, I think, during, I don't know, I talk about moderation. Oh yeah, because it comes up in that panel. So they mentioned it here just this last year, but this is something that had come up all the way back in 2013. And this is something that they wrote about a little bit, and then it popped up here and there over time. But really, you come across something like this from Chris Roberts 12 years ago.
Of the single player experience and the multiplayer experience. Every player in the Star Citizen game is in the same universe. We don't have different shards or worlds, and you have a life, you have a character, you have multiple characters, they have multiple ships. So you have
just a little thing there. You have a life, you have a character, you have multiple characters. Now, there was like a lot of talk back then, and the game that they were trying to build at that time is a lot different from this one. We've gone over that, I think, enough on this channel. But we all are kind of aware of that. So when you hear him say something like that back then, it's like, oh, okay. Maybe that still happens. Maybe that's still planned. Because like was said in chat just now, the whole custom NPCs, agent smithing, like, there's a lot of little, it's a gray area. By the way, shout out to, I think it was Air. Yeah. Shout out to Airco for bringing this article up to me in SC chat on the Discord. I didn't realize that of all the articles I keep looking through for the Star Citizen history deep dives, there's still stuff that I've never seen. So appreciate that. Anyways, continuing to search for more news of this idea of multiple characters and, getting to play as different people, I came across Chad McKinney talking about this back in 2018. So a little bit more of an updated opinion on it. Listen in.
Currently, there is not any kind of penalty. In the future, we want to start adding things like maybe a fee whenever you die and respawn, and then also have some other effects tied to respawning. So things like aging of the character, wear and tear, things that give the character a sense of a lifetime and meaning. Mm-hmm. And also another thing to take into account is that in order for you to really for this to be meaningful, we need to have multiple characters in the game. And this is something that actually we don't support currently in the game, both on like the DGS side and the dedicated game server side, and in the back end as far as your persistence data. And so I think ultimately we want to have it to where you can have multiple characters, and some of your characters will age and get worse over time. If you want to know more about like kind of the ultimate vision of that, you should check out the article "Death of a Spaceman" from several years back, which kind of lays out CR's kind of, I think, final ultimate vision for what we want this to be like.
Besides the fact that this is further confirming the move to multiple characters, still not super recent, but definitely not 12 years ago. This is now 7 years ago. This is also kind of reminding us that Death of a Spaceman is not just about the actual death part, but it's kind of also about just like the aging and wear and tear of the body part. And I think kind of like how it's being assumed that Death of a Spaceman is just the respawn stuff. Well, that kind of reminds me of how it is assumed that Master Modes is the whole flight model, because they're working on other aspects of that kind of thing, And Death of a Spaceman, there's more to it than just dying. Life of a Spaceman, yeah. So anyways, this was another confirmation of that. And then finally, the point at which it was basically confirmed for the new age of Star Citizen. Sorry, I'm overusing this one today. This was the best confirmation I think we've gotten recently that multiple characters will be available to you.
And the launcher, we're aiming to synchronize across all. And speaking of synchronizing, when we have multiple characters, your friends will be shared across all of them too.
Nice.
So that was just last November at CitizenCon 2024. So this is clearly still planned from all the way back when Chris mentioned it in 2012. Maybe it'll be different. Maybe it'll be a different style of however they want to do it or host it or allow you to do things. But they do seem to want you to at least be able to pick different characters on your account, which is an interesting idea because a lot of this game will be based on what you do with that character, as we expect with RPGs. And you can then get a wildly different experience without having to do too much. This brings up talk of, well, what if then, if I'm getting taxed on my main character account, why am I not just moving all of my money over to my second character? Or if I'm griefing people and everybody hates me and I can't go anywhere, can I just open up more and more characters on this account to keep going back to that same place and doing this and not having to deal with law? So I think there's going to be some complications with how this is implemented. I don't think it'll be super straightforward. I don't think it'll be ideal to what we want, but it sounds like they're trying to make it work somehow. Let's see what this article is about. So this was back when people were getting multiple accounts and they wanted to know about combining. To start, understand that every Star Citizen Pledge package currently includes 3 separate parts: your ship, some credits, and your game character. So your ship is needed to travel the galaxy. It's what you got with the game. And it was, you had to get a game package to get into Star Citizen. Some credits, every package has an allotment of starter UEC. We all know this. And then your game character, this is you. Whether you choose to play a law-abiding merchant or a fearsome pirate or an intrepid explorer, gotta capitalize that now. You need a customized character who will inhabit your hangar and fly your ships. What this means is that if you currently have 4 Star Citizen packages, you will be able to play 4 different characters using one RSI account, each with their own ship and starting credit balance. You will also have the option of breaking up your pledge packages and reallocating these 3 elements as you deem fit. Dude, this does not sound like it's... I don't know. Breaking up the pledge packages, this would be great, but isn't this also kind of... I guess if things have to stay within your account, that's one thing. How do you prove that you own all the accounts? Like, if you want to consolidate accounts, how do you prove that you're consolidating 2 pledge accounts into the same account and they're both, well, I don't know, it just seems like it would be an easy way for people to sell on the gray market. Yeah, I don't know about this. In addition, you will get to choose which characters receive your add-on ships. Voyager Direct items and stretch goal rewards you have accumulated. In this example, someone with 4 packages could assign all of the ships and credits to one character and leave 3 game characters for later use. If you have purchased multiple packages with identical physical extras, such as ship models or star maps, you will receive multiple extras when the game ships. If your packages have digital extras like the downloadable soundtrack, you will be given the option of gifting the duplicates to friends. They're gonna have so much stuff to like come back around to and make sure they're taken care of when they reach 1.0. Holy crap. I'm guessing they went through all of this stuff though to figure out 1.0. You don't mention something like multiple characters during the CitizenCon where you're laying out the vision of the game you want to release unless you're pretty sure it's going to be a thing. This is actually where it gets kind of fun. Oh boy. This is going to be one of the most painful things they've ever typed out about this game leading up to 1.0. Many of Star Citizen's ships, such as the Freelancer or Constellation, feature positions for multiple crewmen. Players will always be... Players will always be able to hire NPC crewmen in the game, contracting computer-controlled crews to help man turrets, run consoles, and fly escort. If you would like the option to customize your crew, you can create your own NPCs by using a game character slot. You will go through the same character creation process as your player character, but will then have the option of handing off control to an AI. As an additional bonus, friends can drop in to take over these crewmen themselves and to help man your spacecraft when available. Remember, It is not necessary to use a game character for your NPC crew. You will be able to hire normal NPC crew with credits you've earned in game. The difference between a game character slot converted into a NPC crew member and a regular NPC crew member is that you can customize the game character NPC's look, name, and backstory. That's a lot. And then they go on to say, read about it in Death of a Spaceman more. So this was, oh boy. Yeah, this is one of those things that like, they did not mention this during these panels, right? Because this is not a 1.0 thing. This is a post 1.0 thing. Now, they have, I think, worked their way around this a little bit. For starters, this mentions, where is it? These NPCs can man turrets, run consoles, and fly escort. Now, flying escort, they've already shown that they're still doing. So we will have NPCs flying escort, and turrets can be AI blade controlled if they're not manned. So there is some level of like, okay, we're not going to be as limited as we would have been if you completely removed this. But then there's also like, hey, this is a big deal a lot of people care about. Thing to remember though is that this was a completely different game, and we've been over that quite a bit. Which is why when I come across things like this,
we're aiming to synchronize across all. Shared between the game and the web and the launcher, we're aiming to synchronize across all. And speaking of synchronizing, when we have multiple characters,
that when they say that kind of stuff, I'm kind of like, oh, okay. Because to be quite honest, a lot of the stuff that they talked about here, I kind of expect to be followed, but I never expect to be fully implemented how they want. And getting a mention like that is kind of a positive boost. It's like how physical interaction popped back up after a long time of not being mentioned. The last part of this segment was you will also have the option of gifting unused game characters to other players. Remember, I mean, we could do this. Remember, in order to chart your path in the Star Citizen universe, these characters will need a ship and some credits. Credits that you earn in the game can be transferred to your friends, or they will be able to purchase an allotment through the Voyage Direct store. We're also considering a system through which players with a game character slot but no ship can work for other players. Well, yeah. Players who would like additional game character slots either to create second players or to build a customized crew but don't have multiple packages will have the option of a standalone character slot purchased from the Pledge store without having to buy a full game package. It's a little, feels like a lot to chew on, you know? Like, it's a lot. Simplify this. This will also allow a small number of backers who only have an add-on ship but not a game package to purchase a game character slot and a few credits. I mean, but people are also asking about, like, I want to be able to start this game without a ship. How cool would it be if one of the starting scenarios for this game was they just plop you down on a planet with a broken down ship and tell you to repair it, like No Man's Sky style. Yeah, no Agent Smithing anymore. We know that's gone. So that's a little information I found about multiple packages, multiple characters per account, and I thought you guys might be interested in hearing kind of what the heck the past, I guess, ideas were about that, and also kind of just confirming that some form of it will still happen. It's not going to be this, but it's also, we're not going to be limited to one character per account.